It's good morning, Daniel Murray. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. First time to Yellow Shelf. Your book, which we were just sharing, I've read. It's definitely relatable to me in my previous corporate world. The Empathy Gap. Congratulations. Tell us all about the book. What do we need to know?
Yeah, it's really an attempt, I think, for me to demystify some of the challenges with empathy. It's a word that I'm sure you've seen thrown around a lot, and particularly in sort of leadership and corporate circles. But it gets mixed up with sympathy and weakness and all sorts of other things. And I just wanted to really create a clarity around what it is, how can we develop that learning and understanding of using empathy more in our organizations, why that's a useful thing to do, and how even analytical people like me can actually get a handle on this and do it.
And Daniel, tell us about what inspired. This isn't your first book? I know that because I did some research on you. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But tell us why you wrote the book. Tell us anything we need to know about you.
So I did a degree. My first degree was in mathematics, which is really boring, and spent a lot of time in the corporate world. Did an MBA, worked in financial services, big sort of corporates with lots of numbers and spreadsheets. And I kept finding that we stuffed things up. We got things wrong. We missed the mark. We misunderstood, and lots of our projects would go wrong. And I couldn't work out why at first. And what it really struck me after a while is that we treated people like numbers and metrics and robots instead of the complex, unique, volatile things that we are.
Yeah.
And so I had to go on a bit of a journey to try and understand, how do you understand people?
Yeah.
And how do you understand why they do what they do? And I guess that's at the heart of this book. It's empathy is a tool for us to understand why people do what they do. And I didn't know how to do. I wasn't naturally gifted at that, but I developed. I went searching. I looked and developed a process and a set of steps that you can follow and practice to develop empathy as a skill. And that's really at the heart of this book. That's why I wrote this book. It's to help maybe some frustrated people like me who were struggling to really come to terms with what empathy is and how we can do it more effectively.
And yeah, Daniel, I mean, I was sharing with you on off camera, that was one of the words I used as well, that frustration that individuals feel within businesses or organizations. And definitely in the book, there's lots of processes and frameworks. And as I acknowledged as a visual learner, love the visuals that your book gives as well. Daniel, I mentioned you've written other books. I know on your website you've written a children's book as well, which is fabulous.
Yeah, it's funny. It was a story about resilience. So the idea of resilience gets thrown around a lot in organizations, and I kept coming up against this idea that people would say resilience is you need to toughen up and get
Yeah.
stronger and get thick skin. And so the kids book was actually a bit of a metaphor to help people understand why that's terrible advice, which my wife convinced me to turn into a kids book, and we got it illustrated and it looks really cool. I think it's on my
Yeah.
shelf down here. And I wrote another book around values and culture in organizations. But this one, The Empathy Gap, has really been that long term piece of work that I've been developing and putting together. And I think the whole body of work really is about helping demystify some of the things that are really, really important in organizations. And as a organizational psychologist, you'll know this well. They're really, really important, but they're hard to quantify. They're hard to sort of get your head around, and you can't put them in spreadsheets. And, it seems to be more challenging for analytical thinkers to get their head around these sorts of things. And because of that, they too often go, well, it's all fluffy, so let's just forget about it. And actually, forgetting about it means we're not touching on some of the most important stuff. So, really, that's the divide we're trying to close here. How do we make those fluffy things a bit more practical, a bit more pragmatic, and therefore more actionable for more people?
Yeah. Well done. The book certainly does that. It connects. Um, Tell us about, can I acknowledge you're a speaker these days? You do a
Yes.
lot of corporate work. Your website's fabulous as a resource. I know you can get the book now. It's available for pre-order, but literally out in a couple of days. Tell us, how's the best way to connect with you? I'll put this in the show notes, Daniel.
Yeah, look, probably through my website. So danielmurray.au is an easy way. I'm on LinkedIn continuously.
Yeah.
So there's lots of opportunity to get there. And as you mentioned, I put out lots of ebooks and publications, and I like to write things. I like to put practical sort of tips together. So I love to sort of work with new people in this space. And the real objective for me is if we can make organizations a bit more human centered, particularly
Yeah.
as we sort of head into a heavily digitized AI world. We need people to be more people like. We need more humanity in our leadership. And so if anyone else is wanting to do the same sort of thing, I love to connect and have a conversation with them about it.
Yeah, hear from me on the human side in organization needs to continue. That juggernaut needs to live on. Daniel, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the book. Will you write again? Is there more in the? Can I be so bold as to ask?
I'm still emotionally and physically getting over this one, but no, look, absolutely. I've already got a couple of thoughts around there. I do a lot of work around things like giving hard feedback with
Yeah.
empathy and concern, managing people who are maybe not performing well and getting into that sort of space. So I think that'll be the next one around the thing I call pirates and passengers. But for now, we'll just try and ride this wave and see where it
Yeah.
takes us.
You know what? Ride the wave, enjoy, take a breather as well at the end of the launch. I know you've got a launch tour, so exciting times ahead. Yeah, look, the only reason I ask is you're always welcome back. Future books, love to share, love to support your work. Daniel, all the best. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Been a pleasure.
Cheers.